resistance. Let's get it. We're starting off with a squat stand. So nice big hammy stretch through the back of those legs, dropping down for a squat, and then standing themselves up from there. Second exercise is going to be a dead bug. Now, I really want you to be mindful of what is going on with the small of their back as they're doing this exercise. They're really trying to keep full back on the ground here as they extend that leg. So notice how my back, how I just sort of made that adjustment and pulled my back in so that it could stay down on the ground. Really look out for that here. This next exercise is a glute bridge march. So, yeah, hips staying nice and level, core staying tight, knees tracking right over their toes, all the good things. And then we're doing single leg deadlifts as their fourth exercise. So extending one leg out, trying to find square in both of those hips as they alternate from side to side, back staying nice and flat, core staying nice and tight and supported. First block is an upper body push block. We're doing some stuff over the head. So we're going to do a half kneeling overhead press for, I believe, 8 on each side. Try to prompt them to keep that opposite hand off of their knee so that they're just relying on the strength of their core and their upper body on that one side to push up over their head. Then they will go into a full kneeling Arnold press. So palms rotated towards them to start, pressing up and over the head and then coming back down. Being in a kneeling stance provides them with a little bit of an unstable environment so that they can really focus on their core as they push those arms up over their head. Their mobility exercise for this first block is going to be a Sphinx pose. So really prompt them to push their neck nice and long, shoulders out of the ears. They can do a little nod, no or yes in the neck. If it feels good for them, they can extend those arms, but that nice long neck is nice and important. Next block, we've got some single leg step ups. So I find it best to hold the kettlebell in the opposite hand of the foot they're stepping up with. If somebody wants to challenge themselves and hold on to 2 kettlebells, let them do it. All right. The more the merrier. Just be mindful that this trajectory going up should feel sort of like an escalator. So they're going up at an angle rather than up and down in that frontal plane. So keep that in mind. Second exercise is going to be a suitcase squat. So 2 kettlebells, keeping the chest up and the focus out. They'll bring those weights down and then back up. Feet should be right underneath the sits bones here. So it's a bit of a narrower stance. Their mobility exercise here is going to be a side kneeling T-spine rotation. So this will be a kneeling position with their foot turned out to the side, 2 hands on the inside of that foot, and then they'll rotate in the torso to open up their spine and come back down. Next block, we're alternating between TRX bicep curls and TRX tricep extension. So for the bicep curls, think of keeping their elbows nice and close to them. Their hands should sort of like poke their forehead as they come up towards them, wrists staying nice and straight. TRX tricep extension, elbows bend, sort of like a skull crusher, and then they push out in a way. And then for the mobility exercise here, we've got a cat-cow. So big arch and curl in the spine to the degree that feels good to them. This could also just be a child's pose if they feel like they need to chill. But yes. Final block, we're going in for some sandbag back squats. So if this gets to be too much for them, you can always offer them a kettlebell and do some goblet squats. But that's one. Number 2 is a glute bridge with the sandbag as well. A little bit of heavier volume on this one. I believe we're going for 12 reps. So keep that in mind when you prompt them with weight. And then the final mobility exercise is a shin box bow. So legs sort of in a 90-90 position. One hand on the outside of that foot, one hand on the outside of that knee. Back stays straight as they bow forward.